How much thought are you putting into your AI use at work? AI's been great for things, at least in my firm, for like brainstorming, editing, and a lot more. But one of the things I definitely am aware of is you've probably even heard me say it before, we still need that human in the loop. I can think of a perfect example. Recently, I used it to edit an email because I could tell that maybe I was a little less than compassionate and generous with the person on the other end. I was busy and the timing wasn't good, but I've trained myself to recognize that that's not my best self and certainly not what I want to put in writing. I'm Nancy Schick of Third Ear Conflict Resolution. I am an employment attorney and workplace mediator. I'm also an author of a second book. This is the reader copy. It's called Unsustainable: Why Our Workplaces Aren't Working and What to Do About It. And the last thing I do a lot of things, is I teach continuing legal education and continuing education in the funeral profession. This Friday, August 14th, I'll be teaching a CLE, continuing legal education, for Justia on the topic of AI in the workplace. So I wanted to give you a little preview of what we'll be talking about. You already heard a big part of it is we need to keep the human in the loop. And why is that so important? Well, one thing that we're hearing so much of is people being afraid they're going to lose their jobs. But if you look on LinkedIn right now, there are a lot of jobs being posted, and that is because employers recognize you still need a human in certain things. Second, what we'll talk about is how tech can augment our work. And you heard me give an example earlier about how I use it to sometimes tone down my own upset because I can recognize I'm not at my best. So I can say something like, I feel like maybe I'm being a little too harsh. Maybe I'm coming off a little condescending. How can I say this in a way that's consistent with who I am when I'm not stressed out? And my technology has been trained now to recognize my voice, and it can say, hey, Nancy, this isn't you, but here is something that is more like you. I'm still going to read through it again. I'm not going to automate that process. And that's something we'll be talking more about in the continuing education program. By the way, you can attend it without the CLE credit if you're interested in this topic. You don't have to be a lawyer to attend. And the third thing that I want to make sure that I get into that particular course you'll be hearing about is we're going to talk about the intersection. This is for the lawyers, but you may find it interesting no matter where you stand, whether you're an employee, employer, or business owner. We're going to talk about the intersection of technology, legal compliance, and human management, how all of those things come together. I do talk about it in my book as well, which will be coming out soon. As I said, I still have the review copies, so we're not quite through to the final version of it, but stay tuned on that. I'll put a link in the notes to this video for the continuing legal education program. Again, that is Friday, August 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern on Justia. Again, that link will be below. And in the meantime, keep listening with your third ear for those hurts you can heal.